Good morning, everyone. It's Robert from On My Turntable. Hope you're having a great morning this morning. It's a coffee kind of morning, Sunday morning. Watching Rachel, the Music Mam's accent tag, her Western Canadian tag. I want to join in and do a Eastern Ontario tag version. Just some words and phrases unique to Canadians. I may not use a lot of these words in here, but I do most. And also wanted to show a few albums that I picked up yesterday. Before everything, please hit the like and subscribe button below. Thank you to all that have liked and subscribed so far. I greatly appreciate it. I want to continue to put great content out there to be informative and to show you guys some great bands and artists that I have in my collection. Thank you so much for all your likes and subscriptions, your great comments, your support. The vinyl community is just wonderful. So thanks again. I appreciate it. So picked up this double live album yesterday. It's a great Nils Lofgren, Night After Night. I've only heard a few bits and pieces of it, but from what I've heard, it's a great album. It's his fourth live album, recorded and released in 1977. Goes between the Apollo Theatre in Glasgow and the Roxy in LA. And great. I was listening to a lot of his live stuff on Spotify yesterday, and this guy's awesome, just awesome. He, of course, was with Crazy Horse. Neil Young also played E Street Band with Bruce Springsteen, so two famous acts, and yeah, just an amazing performer. Another one, this is Focus, Hamburger Concerto. It's on Atco Records. This is their fourth studio album, released in '74. Focus, of course, a great Dutch progressive rock band. Haven't necessarily heard a lot of this, just a little bit of it. Not a lot of tracks on this one, but I'm looking forward to enjoying it for sure. Always love these guys. This is the album Bloody Tourist by 10cc. And this is their sixth studio album. I love 10cc. Just a great vocal harmonies. This is a awesome summertime listening pleasure. Great stuff. And finally, I always have to show some Canadian themes on albums. This is The Big Prize, Honeymoon Suite. This guy's from Niagara Falls. This is their second studio album by the band. It also won Band of the Year and nominated for Album of the Year, the Juno Awards. Juno is the Canada's version of the Grammys. Big hit that was big in the US is Feel It Again. Also Bad Attitude is on this one as well. Bad Attitude was on the final episode of Miami Vice 3 years after this release of this album. So yeah, hence Niagara Falls in the background, but love Honeymoon Suite. Good Canadian rock band. So anyway, going on with my Eastern Ontario theme, I live in a place called Belleville, Ontario, which is almost smack dab in the middle between Toronto and Ottawa. Toronto is about 2.5 hours west of here, and Ottawa is about 3-ish hours east of here. I used to live in Ottawa for a while. and I miss it. I wish it was still there. Born and raised just a little north of Belleville, and yeah. So a lot of people think I'm from the West Coast or the East Coast or wherever, but no, I'm just a Ontario boy. But um, living in Ottawa, being a multicultural city, it took a lot of the I don't know what the right word is to be proper. Um, I don't use a lot of slang. I try not to anyway. I'm very conscious of not using slang, and where a lot of the customers that come in, I work at the Home Depot as well. I'm one of the managers there. Um, a lot of the customers come in, especially the rural customers, and they're very super heavy slang, super heavy slang. So anyway, I thought I'd do a words and phrase unique to Canada. um, Again, maybe some of these words I use, maybe some I don't. But let's start it off. Pardon me, I'm just going to take a little sip of coffee here. So, first off is Chesterfield, which means a sofa or a couch. I call it a couch. I've got two couches in my living room. I don't use Chesterfield that often, but that's a unique word to Canada. Chinook is a warm wind in the Rocky Mountains. To deke is to fake or faint. Use a lot of that phrase in hockey, deking. Donair, it's a pizza wrap similar to a gyro. Love Donairs, they're great. They're great. Double double. That's my coffee choice for Tim Hortons, which is, I guess, Canada's version of Dunkin' Donuts. Basically, a coffee with 2 creams and sugars. 2 creams and 2 sugars. So when I go to other coffee shops, it's an automatic thing to say, "Could I have a double double, please?" So you have to think about that, and can I get 2 creams and 2 sugars in my coffee, please? Eaves troughs, known to Americans as gutters. And I don't use this next one, and it's very stereotypical of Canada. Is a it's usually shortcut for "Don't you agree?" and it's used quite regularly. And when I watch movies and they reference Canada, it's almost embarrassing to me when they go over the top, especially in a movie like Grown Ups, where they showed the French Canadian guy from Saskatoon. No one talks like that. No one talks like that. Not that I know of, anyway. I don't know anyone that talks with that type of accent or using those phrases or whatever. But anyway, so a shortcut for "Don't you agree?" I'm not going to use the next word, but I'll just say screw the dog. Basically being lazy or doing a job very slowly. Another version of that is making puppies. Just someone that's very lazy and doesn't do a heck of a lot of stuff. 50 is a Labatt's 50, which is a brand of beer. Garburator, garbage disposal. Oh, giver. Giver. I don't use that too often. Giver is doing something well or enthusiastically. Giver. Just giver. I use this one quite a bit. Had the biscuit. It's dead or broken. You know, that engine's had the biscuit, or that toaster's had the biscuit. Just means it's dead. Never going to work again. I drink 2% milk, but the next phrase is homo milk, basically whole milk in the States. and a lot of our milk comes in bags. I guess you guys don't have milk in bags down there. And we have little plastic containers that we hold the bags in. I don't, being by myself, I don't buy bags of milk because I just find I don't drink enough of it to last. So I buy cartons of milk. House coat, which is a bathrobe. Hydro, which is electricity. I thought that was a common word, but I guess not. I guess it's Canadian, uniquely Canadian. Some of these are funny. Joe job, which is a low class or low paying job. I don't use that phrase very often. I don't remember using that phrase. I say brown noser over keener, but keener's a brown noser. Usually you rub your nose when you say that type of thing. Kerfuffle is a commotion or fuss. Click is a slang for a kilometer. We use the metric system here in Canada, so miles are kilometers to us. So click, it's 100 clicks. Toronto's 150 clicks, 200 clicks west of here. I'm just going to move this over just a tad. I don't know if tad's an American word or not. Knapsack is a backpack or a book bag. KD or Kraft Dinner, it's Kraft mac and cheese. Loonie, of course, is a Canadian $1 coin, and a toonie is a Canadian $2 coin. Lumberjacket is a thick flannel jacket. I just say flannel jacket. Usually it's that typical lumberjack red hangman type of crosses on it. A Mickey is a little pint of liquor. Pencil crayon, it's a colored marker or coloring pencil. Sorry. Pogie is an unemployment check. Sorry, I'm just going to move this over here. Some of these are hilarious. What else we got here? Pop, common name for soft drinks or soda pop. Let's have some pop. I just say Coke or Pepsi. I go either way, but I don't say pop too often. Rink rat is someone who hangs out at a hockey rink, which there's not too many around these days because hockey was basically canceled. Runners, running shoes or sneakers. I just call them running shoes. Shinny is an unstructured game of hockey. Basically no rules, no refs. Timbits are donut holes made by Tim Hortons. Give me a 6-pack of Timbits or give me a 12-pack of Timbits. Timmy's, of course, is a Tim Hortons restaurant. Tim Horton, of course, was a Toronto Maple Leaf hockey player back in the 60s who tragically passed away. But Tim Hortons is a famous Canadian stop for not so great coffee sometimes. It's a standard, but I prefer McDonald's coffee myself. I already mentioned toonie. A toque, knitted winter hat. I don't wear toques, I wear ball caps. A 26er is a bottle of alcohol containing 750 milliliters. A 2-4 is a 24 pack of beer. Washroom is a bathroom. I gotta go. I always say I have to go to the bathroom. Washrooms, but our signs say washrooms. And this is always controversial. Z, the letter Z in the U.S. Um, yes, there are zebras and xylophones and that type of thing. But tomato, tomato. They didn't throw in a lot of French slang, which is typically Canadian as well. But I use some of these phrases. I don't use a lot of these phrases. Or maybe subconsciously I do and I don't realize I do. But as I said, I try to not hide, I try to talk with proper English. But it's regional. Someone an hour north of here would speak with more of a slang. South of here is a place called the Prince Edward County, and that's being filled with a lot of people from Toronto retiring there. So Prince Edward County is on the edge of Lake Ontario. Beautiful area. So Lake Ontario is maybe an hour and a half away from here. But it's become a very touristy, rich, expensive place to live, the county. But so, of course, with all the ethnic people around as well, you don't hear too many phrases like it's pointed out to be in the movies, or mainly the movies, and that kind of irks me sometimes, because we have a ton of Canadian actors, very famous actors and actresses, that speak proper English. Um, all kinds of them, and it's just a choice to speak properly or not speak properly. So, but anyway, there you have it. Some of these are funny though. I use make puppies quite a bit because a lot of people around that just make puppies, and giver as well. That was a funny one. But anyway, thanks Rachel, my fellow Canadian. She loves when I throw Canadian content in there, and I try to do that on every video. It's a lot of fun, just to show my American friends that there is great Canadian music out here. There's great Canadian bands, underrated bands, and I'm very proud of my Canadiana. Our July 1st Canada Day is coming up this Wednesday. Unfortunately, it may be a virtual type of day with what's going on, but when you go to Ottawa on Parliament Hill and there's 100 and some thousand people singing "O Canada," it just brings tears to your eyes. And we've got a lot to be thankful for in this country. Yes, there is a terrible virus going around, but in my area, it's few were hit by it. We're still conscious of it. We still wear masks. We still distance ourselves. But a lot of people, especially coming into a store like ours, they're not following the rules very well. They think it's over. Where a place like Toronto or Montreal, a bigger community, it was hit bigger. It was hit harder. But still, I'll have to be aware. It's not over yet, and I hope you guys stay safe. I hope you guys get through this the best way you can. And thanks to everyone on the Vital community. You guys are wonderful. So there's my take on unique phrases from Canada. Not that I use a lot of them, but hey, this was fun, Rachel. Thank you. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.